It all starts in your mind. Before a single cent hits your account, you need to adjust the way you think. Most people dream of being rich, but act like they're stuck on a paycheck. And here's the truth. No one truly becomes wealthy while still thinking like someone who's broke. If you want to grow financially, the first step is changing what you believe about money. It's not luck, it's not a stroke of fortune, it's construction, it's mindset. While many are out there sharing their plans at the bar, on social media, or with friends, true wealth builders stay quiet, reading, studying, observing. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that wealth begins with how you see the world. If you see money as dirty or out of reach, it will keep slipping away. But if you start to see money as a tool, something that can be learned and mastered, everything changes. And here's another thing. Getting rich requires silence. Because in silence, you listen. You hear your doubts. You hear opportunities. You hear the right advice. People who talk too much waste energy trying to prove something they haven't built yet. That's why real transformation begins quietly, inside your mind. It's the moment when you stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an investor. Shift your focus. Instead of asking, how much does this cost? Ask, how much could this make me? Stop thinking about a fixed salary and start thinking about freedom. This mental shift doesn't need to be announced. It happens in silence. And that's the first step to becoming rich without anyone noticing. Nowadays, many people want to look rich before they actually are. They buy expensive cars on payments, the latest phone on a maxed-out credit card, designer clothes just to impress. But few understand that real wealth begins with investing. Before, flaunting, and the silent investor is strategic. They don't post photos of new car keys. They're buying stocks. They don't make videos in a mansion. They're reinvesting in their businesses. While others spend to look rich, they build to be rich. Robert Kiyosaki always says, buy assets, not liabilities. And what are assets? Things that put money in your pocket every month. It could be a rental property, dividend-paying stocks, an online business, or a monetized channel. Instead of showing off a new watch, these people are buying time for financial freedom. And here's the secret: spend in silence, grow in silence. Because when you invest before you show off, growth comes solid, steady, and real. It's not about looking like a millionaire on Instagram. It's about actually becoming one without needing to prove anything to anyone. Great investors don't announce their plans. They act quietly. The noise only comes later, when the results speak for themselves. So if you're just getting started, remember this golden rule. First you invest, then if you want, you show. Anyone who depends on a single source of income is always on the edge. One problem, a layoff, an emergency, a crisis, and everything falls apart. That's why people who want to build silent wealth learn one vital lesson early. You need multiple taps flowing with money, not just one. While most people are stuck on a fixed salary, those who think like investors start building other income streams. And it doesn't have to be anything big at first. It could be a small online business, a digital product, a service you offer in your spare time. The key is to create something that keeps working even when you're asleep. That's called passive income. Money that keeps coming in without you having to be there. And the more you multiply these sources quietly, the more secure and free you become. It could be dividend-yielding investments, rental properties, a monetized channel, or even an automated online store. And notice, nobody needs to know. You don't need to announce that you've started a business. You don't need to tell anyone you're buying stocks. Everything can be done discreetly, growing behind the scenes. People who understand this play a different game. While others work Monday through Friday waiting for payday, you're building multiple financial highways, quietly but steadily. Multiplying your income quietly is like planting in silence and letting the harvest speak for itself. In the beginning, no one sees, but over time, everyone notices. Stop and think. Who are you learning from? Most people live in debt, frustrated, repeating the same financial mistakes generation after generation. If you keep listening to what the majority says, you'll end up where the majority is, struggling. Those who build wealth in silence do the opposite. Instead of following popular advice like buy a house to live in or work hard until you retire, they observe what the rich actually do. And what do? They invest in knowledge, assets, connections, and opportunities. Most of it quietly. They're not shouting on social media all day. They're reading books, learning how money really works, watching seminars, listening to podcasts, joining mentorship programs. And they do it quietly because they know that real learning happens backstage, away from noise and the need for approval. Robert Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad that financial education is what separates those who thrive from those who just survive. And that education isn't taught in regular schools. It's in books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in real market experiences, in silent observations of what successful people are doing. So if you want to grow, stop idolizing those who speak the loudest and start listening to those who build in silence. Most people just repeat cliches. The rich ask the right questions. And those who learn from the rich, even silently, grow faster because they're using shortcuts most people don't even know exist. Some people go into debt just to maintain an image. They buy cars they can't afford, take trips they can't pay for, max out their cards on expensive clothes just to impress. But here's the harsh truth. Debt used to look rich is a trap. People on the path to silent wealth know that debt only makes sense when it helps you grow, not just to feed your ego. A loan can be a powerful tool when it's used to invest in something that brings a return. But when debt is just to maintain appearances, it becomes a prison. Robert Kiyosaki always made a clear distinction between good debt and bad debt. Good debt puts money in your pocket. For example, financing a property to rent out or investing in a course that brings real return. Bad debt takes money from you every month, like a luxury car just for status or a credit card full of payments, for things that produce nothing. People who want to get rich in silence understand this early. They don't care what others think. They care what their money is doing. They don't spend to look wealthy. They invest to become wealthy. And they know the less noise, the more freedom. Because financial freedom isn't about having things, it's about having choices. And people trapped in debt have no choices at all. So remember, don't fall into the trap of spending to impress. Use credit wisely, and only when it truly makes sense. In silence, those who avoid unnecessary debt are already ahead of 90% of people. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they start to succeed is wanting to show everything. The first raise, the first trip, the first car. But here's a secret the truly rich know very well. The more you grow, the less you need to say. Drawing too much attention can attract the wrong things. Envy, criticism, pressure, even people who want to use or sabotage you. Those who grow rich in silence know this. They don't flaunt their bank balances. They don't post achievements every hour. They don't reveal their plans, and they don't need to. Why? Because growing in silence is growing safely. It's protecting what you're building. It's not hiding out of fear, but out of wisdom. The freedom that comes with wealth isn't just about buying what you want. It's about living how you want, without interference, judgment, or manipulation. Robert Kiyosaki always said that the greatest value of an investor is not in what they show, but in what they build behind the scenes. The things no one sees. The books they read, the contracts they sign, the businesses they launch, all of it happens off camera, off stage. So if you're growing, don't feel the need to prove anything. Silence protects your investments, your peace of mind, and your decisions. As the saying goes, still waters run deep, and those who grow quietly grow stronger. If there's One thing that can speed up or ruin your financial growth. It's the kind of people you choose to keep around. People who gossip, who mock your dreams, who complain all the time. They drain your energy. They don't add, they subtract. They're too busy watching others' lives and never looking at their own bank accounts. Now look at the opposite. True doers speak little and act a lot. They don't shout in group chats about starting a business. They just start one. They don't waste their day arguing politics or judging people. They stay quiet, building what others only dream of. Robert Kiyosaki always said, "Surround yourself with people at least one step ahead of you." People who think big, who read, who build, who lift you up with action, not empty talk. Your environment is more powerful than you think. Even if you're focused, if you're surrounded by people who think small, you'll start to shrink your own dreams. You'll doubt yourself. You'll think it's better to fit in than to be criticized. And without realizing, you stop growing. That's why you must stay close to those who think big, but talk little. People who prefer action over attention, who dream, but turn those dreams into plans, investments, results. Most importantly, people who respect your silence, who understand your process, who don't pressure you to show off. Silence attracts depth, and depth attracts real growth. The less noise you have around you, the more clarity you gain. And clarity is everything when making big decisions, doing good business, protecting your wealth, and moving forward. Trade the loud for the builders. Trade the talkers for the quiet visionaries. Because your journey toward wealth needs allies, not an audience. And maybe this is the most freeing lesson of all. You owe no one anything, not explanations, not performances, not approval. Your growth is yours, your journey is yours, and your success doesn't need a crowd. Many waste energy trying to prove something. They want to show they made it, that they're on top. But in the end, that brings no peace, no freedom, just anxiety. Because living to prove is living as a prisoner to other people's opinions. Robert Kiyosaki always said, "Truly rich people don't care about status. They care about freedom, control over their time, and real impact. They don't need a flashy label or a luxury car to feel good, because they know who they are, they know what they have, and that's enough." Those who grow in silence understand that the goal isn't applause, it's results. While others are busy trying to impress, you're working. You're studying, you're investing, you're living your truth. And the truth doesn't need validation, it proves itself with time. You don't need to share your income, show off your achievements, or display every win. If you want to share something, do it, but never because you felt pressured to. Do it because you chose to. And even then, do it with moderation and awareness. Deep down, a truly wealthy person is someone who lives in peace, who looks back and sees progress, who looks ahead and sees direction, and who looks within and feels purpose. They don't need likes, applause, or people saying, "Wow, you're amazing." They just need to keep growing, silently but consistently. So remember this, don't prove anything to anyone, just grow. Because those who build in silence conquer twice as much. Many people believe that the secret to having extra money or building wealth is earning a high salary. But that's not entirely true. What really makes the difference is how you think and act regarding your money, your financial mindset. Think of it this way. Two people have different salaries, but which one will manage to save more? It's not necessarily the one who earns more, it's the one who knows how to manage what they have. Imagine your money is like a bucket of water. If the bucket has holes in it, the water will leak quickly, no matter how big it is. Those holes are uncontrolled spending, impulse purchases, and growing debt. The right mindset is learning how to plug those holes so your money doesn't disappear. Even with a small salary, if you understand where your money's going and start making smarter choices, you can begin saving, investing, and building a stable financial future. Meanwhile, someone earning more but spending recklessly may live in the red and never see money left at the end of the month. And the best part? This mindset doesn't depend on luck, not on winning the lottery or getting an inheritance. It's something you can develop by learning a little more every day. The more you understand about money, the easier it becomes to make better decisions, even on a modest income. So, the first step to improving your financial life is to change the way you think. See money as a tool to build security and freedom, not just something to spend. Your salary is only part of the equation. Your mindset, that is the true engine of wealth. Have you ever stopped to think where all your money goes at the end of each month? Sometimes it feels like your salary disappears like magic, doesn't it? The only way to truly understand where your money is going is to write down everything, and absolutely everything you spend, and don't think only the big expenses matter. That small coffee at the bakery, that subscription you hardly use, or the money that vanishes through little daily purchases could be draining more from your pocket than you realize. To begin, grab a notebook, use a phone app, or create a spreadsheet on your computer and track your daily spending. It may seem tedious at first, but this habit will open your eyes. You might discover that your daily coffee adds up to the cost of a full meal by the end of the month, or that your unused subscriptions are quietly eating up a significant amount. Doing this is like taking an X-ray of your finances. It's a huge step toward gaining control. Once you see everything clearly, it becomes easier to identify what's essential and what can be cut or adjusted. Moreover, writing down your expenses builds daily awareness of how much you're spending and why. You'll start to think twice before buying on impulse, simply because you'll have to write it down. It's a process that teaches discipline and awareness, and it sets you up for the next step, creating a realistic budget and learning to truly save. So here's the secret to this step. Don't let anything slip by. Record everything, on paper or in your phone, and watch your financial life become clearer. With organization, you'll see what was hidden and prepare the ground for smarter financial decisions. After you've tracked all your expenses, the next step is to divide them into 3 categories, and each one plays a key role in helping you understand your money and how to improve it. Essential expenses. These are the non-negotiables, the basics for survival and comfort. Think rent or mortgage, electricity, water, gas, groceries, commuting and healthcare like medication or doctor visits. Life becomes very difficult without these, so they are your top priority. These must be paid before anything else. Important, but non-essential expenses. These are the things that make life more enjoyable, but you can adjust them if needed. For example, clothing, entertainment, dining out, a trip to the movies, or a vacation. These expenses bring joy and help you stay motivated, but they shouldn't get out of control. Manage them wisely. Non-essential or impulsive expenses. This is the category that steals your money the most without you noticing. Buying something just because it's on sale, keeping unused subscriptions, daily snacks, small habits, they all add up. These aren't urgent or necessary and can be greatly reduced to help your savings. Once you've sorted your expenses like this, it becomes much easier to see where you can cut back without affecting your quality of life. Often, just seeing what's non-essential helps you pause before spending, and this doesn't mean eliminating the fun things you enjoy. It's about balance, prioritizing what truly matters and controlling what can be adjusted. Think of your money as a full glass. If it's too full of non-essentials, there won't be space for what really counts. Classifying your spending this way clears a path for building a practical budget. You'll know exactly where you're overspending and where you can save without sacrifice. Now that you know where your money is going and have organized your spending, it's time to create a budget that truly works for you. And most importantly, to start saving before spending. Think of your salary as a pizza. Before you slice it up to pay bills and everything else, you need to set aside a piece for yourself, for your future. This is what's called paying yourself first. Even if it's just a small part, like 5% of your income, putting that amount aside before paying anything else builds a powerful habit. For example, if you earn $1,000 a month, 5% is $50. That might seem small, but it's the beginning of learning to save with discipline. Over time, you can increase that percentage, and the money you've saved can be invested to grow even more. The key is that this saved money is not for daily expenses. Think of it as your piggy bank or emergency fund, a growing amount that builds your financial freedom. That's when you stop being just a spender and start investing in your future. Creating a budget helps you see all of this clearly. You define exactly how much you can spend on essential expenses, how much to set aside for important but non-essential things, and where you can cut down on unnecessary spending. In addition, the budget works like a map for your financial life. It helps you avoid surprises at the end of the month, and that familiar thought, where did all my money go? And more than that, developing the habit of saving before spending helps you handle unexpected events better, avoid unnecessary debt, and prepare to take advantage of future opportunities. So don't wait to have money left over to start saving. Set aside your slice of the pizza first. You'll be surprised by how much peace this brings to your financial life. You've probably realized that not all debt is the same, right? Some debt can actually help you grow financially, but others just drag you down, stealing your money and your peace of mind. Bad debt is the kind you take on to buy things that lose value quickly or don't bring any return, like a new phone, on monthly payments, clothes, or even charging vacation costs to your credit card. It might seem tempting to pay a little each month, but in the end, you usually pay far more than the original price because of interest. And worse, these items don't bring money back. They just disappear over time. Think about it. If you buy a $1,000 phone in 12 monthly payments, you could end up paying $2,200 or more, depending on the interest. That means you spent $200 just to pay in installments. This kind of debt doesn't help you build wealth. It just adds more weight to carry. On the other hand, there's such a thing as good debt. These are the debts you take on to invest in your future, things that can bring a financial return. For example, taking a loan to buy a rental property or investing in courses that expand your knowledge and increase your income. The big difference between good and bad debt is in what it creates for you over time. Good debt brings results and makes your money work for you. Bad debt, however, is like a black hole that sucks your money and takes you further away from your goals. Organize your finances. Know exactly where your money is going. Set money aside before you spend. Attack high-interest debt, avoid taking on new unnecessary debt, and build an emergency fund to protect you and your family from the unexpected. More importantly, invest in yourself. Seek knowledge, learn new skills, take care of your health and well-being. Remember, the greatest asset you have is you. Financial freedom is not a distant dream. It's a real possibility for anyone who decides to start step by step. With discipline and focus, you are in control. Today is the perfect day to start building a safer, more prosperous, and happier future. So tell me, which of these steps are you going to put into practice first? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who also wants to change their life. Together, we go further.